Hey there, hi there, hello there internet dwellers. My name is OrangeLightning and welcome to another GameCast review. This video is also brought to you in conjunction with earlyaccessgaming.net, a website dedicated to coverage and reviews on brand new, in development and early access indie games. So today I will be talking about Sky Knights, a top-down multiplayer dogfighting game putting you in the hot seat of a modern fighter pilot, created by developer Hampus Bankler. The premise then? Assemble your crew of between 2 and 4 players and take to the skies in your choice of 3 aircrafts, battling it out with an enemy team made up of other players or an AI team. Or a mix. Contrary to what you might think though, the objective is not to take down the other planes, but to actually flatten the opposition's bases, whilst of course defending your own. An array of weapons are at your disposal, including machine guns, bombs, heat-seeking missiles, to name a few, so be ready for explosions galore. How does it play though? Having gone through a few rounds using the mouse and keyboard setup, I was struggling to control my jet, as the sensitivity is very high and WASD felt a little too unnatural. But switching over to the controller was absolutely the way to go. The triggers work as your accelerator and brake, whilst the analog stick was 100% more delicate for nailing that perfect landing. I did find the weapon handling was a little awkward, as you needed to press the analog stick to switch between them, and the menu was oddly a little unresponsive when trying to land on what you wanted to select to boost your stats and change your gear. But aside from this, the setup is easy enough to understand, just an absolute beast to master. The learning curve is steep, at least it was for me, and frustrating at first, although there is a nice weight to the plane which does make for a pleasing feel when actually in flight. At the moment, there is only one map and one mission variant, in that player teams must be the first to wipe out 3 enemy land bases, nicely seated in a straight line for a casual flyover. I didn't think it would be that easy, did you? The thrill of the dogfight beckons and will likely distract you from the task at hand, since it's your time to shine and clear the map for fellow teammates to cruise in with a full arsenal. But look out for a number of air artillery units on the ground, because they will get in the way and they pack one hell of a punch. Targeting is actually relatively kind, and hitboxes are quite broad when shooting. However, this is not always a good thing, as it means barrel rolling away from the guy on your tail is a real challenge. And once the inevitable does happen, leaving you with low health and no ammo, returning to base and acing the landing and not crashing is the only way to actually recover your health and your bullets. Well, aside from smashing into a glorious blaze on the horizon and respawning. Be warned though, this game does punish players for repeated deaths. Spawning back in will take a lot longer each time you die, and I don't need to tell you that is not good for your team. Now, I'm not sure I agree with this mechanic, as although it obviously gives an incentive not to die, it can give the other team a very hefty advantage early on, and coming back from that is really rough. Levelling up in Sky Knights comes from points gained for winning, but also generally playing well in a match, i.e. gunning down opponents and damage done to the bases themselves. As you gain levels, new boosts will be unlocked that can be equipped in your player profile and give a nice little edge in your next encounter, alongside the standard upgrades that can be collected during a battle itself. So there is a little customizing, the only other real choices being which aircraft to pilot. Are you a bomber of bases or a jouster of jets? That was bad, I apologise. Touching on narrative, there actually isn't much of a focus on story in this game at all, the draw instead being the flight simulation and multiplayer battles, so I shall glide past and nosedive straight into the cosmetics. The visuals are very polished, with some nice graphics used for different pilot portraits you can choose for your profile. Plane models do appear quite basic, but the texturing is fantastic and really sets off the designs. As this is a top-down venture, everything is very tiny within the playable map, but still looks nice and smooth with minimal lag. Explosions are satisfying, be it bases or enemy jets plummeting into the cliffside, and the palette is quite vibrant and distinctive, despite being murky-ish in colour. I would like to see a variance in settings though, as playing on the same map repeatedly can get stale quite quickly. Maybe some grasslands or river area, possibly a beach with a view of the sea to shake up the backdrop a little, maybe even some rough weather perhaps? Similarly with the soundtrack, there is one piece on a loop in each battle, and while it works for keeping the atmosphere going, it does get a bit repetitive the more you play and the longer a particular match may progress. I'm not gonna lie here, I was terrible at this game in the beginning, and I suffered the pain of my failings in waiting to spawn only to be shot down within seconds of being airborne again. It was aggravating, but despite myself, I did tough it out and jumped into a few online matchups to keep practicing. Plus, I strongly recommend the training option. It's short and sweet and gives you a head start into the gameplay. Eventually, I got into the swing of it and did start enjoying myself. It is a good little game with some character, and once you find your groove and rise up a few levels to begin nabbing perks, everything will start clicking into place. And surprisingly, there is already a decent community springing up, and from my own playthroughs, I was not insulted or shouted at for being an obvious failure, which is immensely encouraging. I really hope this sticks. Wheels and brakes engaged and pulling to a stop. Let's wind down and sum up. After a rocky start, I enjoyed Sky Knights. It is a fun game you can jump in and out of with an encouraging community to bolster players into growing their skills instead of sulking in a dark corner. But I think it needs a lot more substance to really be worth undertaking. One or two other mission modes and a slight variance to maps and music would complete this multiplayer in my eyes. Do note though, it is early access, so perhaps these things are to come. But for now, I am giving Sky Knights a wait for sales score. With a tiny weeny bit more content, I would be happy to pay the full price of £6.99, but until then, I would say a few quid less would sell it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this review of Sky Knights. You can also check out my full written review over on the Early Access Gaming website in the description below. If you want to see more from us here at GameCast, please like and subscribe, and keep watching for more awesome gaming content. And if you want to see more from me, there are links in the description below to my channel, OrangeLightning Playzone, and all other social spaces I frequent. So, after that mass load of information, take care for now,